What's going on, guys? Jack Gillis 1875 and today we're going to be starting some new content here on the channel all about the Regionalliga Nordost, which is a league I will be following on this channel very closely. So this is going to be a little video introducing you to the Regionalliga Nordost, the teams, the league itself and my thoughts on it. Because it's going to be a really exciting season this season. The season started on Saturday. We'll be talking about that later on in the video. But yeah, this is just going to be an introduction to the Regionalliga for you Regionalliga novices out there. I'd like to thank Come On Football for inspiring me to do this video. So, as you can see by my very helpful diagram that I totally didn't find off of Google Images, the Regionalliga is Germany's fourth tier. So if you get relegated from the 3 Liga, you will end up in the regional league system. This is because Germany has no formal 4th division. Instead, it goes sort of semi-professional, non-league after that. And each region is represented in the Regionalliga setup. You have the Nord, the Nordost, the West, the Südwest, and of course, Bavaria has its own regional league as well. So, say for example, Bayern 2 get relegated from the 3 Liga, they'll end up in the Bavarian Regional League. That is how the system works. So now you know how the Regionalliga system works, let's look at where the Regionalliga Nordost is located. And very helpfully, Wikipedia have highlighted it in green. It takes place in the former East Germany and former West Berlin as well. So I'm going to bore you a bit now, but after the wall came down and Germany became one country, East Germany's league system was disbanded. And what was left of it was made to create the regional lower league football system for the Nordost region, which also, as I said, includes West Berlin. So it makes the Regionalliga Nordost unique because you have massive old East German clubs like BFC Dynamo playing what have been traditionally amateur West Berlin clubs like Berliner Athletic Club. So it's really interesting in that sense. Now we're going to move on and introducing you to the teams. So let's jump into getting to know the teams. Our 20 Regionalliga Nordost teams this season are 1. FC Lokomotiv Leipzig, Karl Zeiss Jena, Chemnitzer FC, WSG Altglienicke, Energie Cottbus, FSV Union Fürstenwalde, Hertha Reserves, BFC Dynamo, Berliner Athletic Club, Viktoria Berlin, VfB Auerbach, ZFC Meuselwitz, SV Lichtenburg, Chemie Leipzig, Optik Rathenau, Germania Halberstadt, Babelsberg 03, Bischofswerda 08, FSV Luckenwalde, and last but certainly not least, Tennis Borussia Berlin. And as you can see, it's a real mix of teams, a real mixed bag. You have the record East German champions, BFC Dynamo. They won 10 East German league titles in a row, in the same league as a small regional club like Germania Halberstadt, in the same league as a former Bundesliga giant, Tennis Borussia Berlin, who played quite a few Bundesliga seasons in the 60s. So yeah, quite an eclectic mix of teams. Regionalliga Nordost is a really competitive league. And as you can see, I've got the table up right now. And what happens with the Regionalliga is that there is only one promotion spot. That's right, there is only one. Now, sometimes it's automatic, sometimes they have to play the winner of the Regionalliga Südwest, which is what happened with Lokomotiv Leipzig last season. Lokomotiv Leipzig had to play Well, unfortunately they lost, which means they didn't get promoted. This season we've got automatic promotion, which means that first spot, that only spot, the winner will automatically get Dritte Liga promotion. There will be no playoff game this year, which means that Regionalliga Nordost is going to be ultra competitive this season. The other factor that makes the Regionalliga Nordost ultra competitive is up to 5 teams can be relegated as well, which means the relegation zone can get a little spicy. You know, it happens every season, but it's even more exciting this season because you don't know who is going to do what. So like I was saying, that all-important first place promotion spot will get the team in first promoted to the 3 Liga. So there will be a team playing 3 Liga football. Now last season, like I was saying, Lok got into the playoff after the last season was curtailed due to coronavirus. Unfortunately, they lost to Verl in the playoff. The teams that went down, I'm not too sure. I can remember for sure Rot-Weiss Erfurt and Nordhausen were forced to go down because of financial problems, which is something we're going to talk about later on in the video. But sometimes teams that aren't in the relegation zone can be relegated due to financial issues. But it is a really competitive league. Anybody can beat anybody. Bottom of the league can beat top of the league. And that is something that we're about to talk about in the next section of the video. So coming up on your screens now will be the results from match day 1, and there was a lot of shocks. Lichtenberg beating Energy Cottbus was a big one. Hertha 2 beating Lok was a wee bit of a shock. It was sort of unexpected. Chemie Leipzig beating BFC Dynamo was a shock. Babelsberg drawing with Karlsruhe Jena, who used to be in the 3 Liga, got relegated, was a shock. Chemnitz losing to Victoria Berlin was also a big shock as well. So I just showed you the match day 1 fixtures from just at the weekend there to show you how competitive the league really can be. You guys will be wondering why there is a flag with a bear and loads of football badges on it. I've not gone mad. It is because I'm going to be talking about the sheer amount of Berlin clubs in the Regionalliga Nordost. Berlin is the most represented state in the Regionalliga Nordost. And as such, I think we're probably going to have a very high chance of getting a Berlin champion this year. But this sort of part of the video goes off on a tangent because we're talking about how diverse the Berlin football scene is. And I will be making a separate video about that very, very soon if this video gets a good reception. But like I was saying, Berlin's the most represented state in the Regionalliga Nordost, and it's also the most represented state or city in European football in terms of in the country's domestic league setup. Berlin is heavily represented in the Regionalliga Nordost though. So they have SV Lichtenberg, Altkliniker, Berliner Athletic Club, BFC Dynamo, Tennis Borussia Berlin, Victoria Berlin and Hertha's reserves all representing Berlin in the Regionalliga Nordost. And it's fantastic because, you know, at the top Berlin's starved of football and success because Hertha and Union are mid-table clubs. So it's good to see a league where Berlin clubs do well. So, and like I was saying, Come On Football, who inspired me to do this video, was talking about in his video, I might link it, in his video about Berlin, how in Berlin you go Bundesliga then straight to non-league. Anyway, each club has a story to tell in Berlin, and each of these Berlin clubs have a story to tell. You first have SV Lichtenberg, that are a local team in the Lichtenberg district of Berlin. Lichtenberg, for viewers from Edinburgh, is sort of like Sight Hill. It's not a very nice part of town. It's got a lot of big grey high-rises and it's quite a poor part of the city. But SV Lichtenberg are a community club. They play in the small Hans Oskar Arena, which used to be a training ground for, I think, some Stasi sports club. I'll have to check that. But the Hans Oskar Arena has been Lichtenberg's home for a very long time. And it's like in the middle of a council estate, the stadium. It's quite unique. But Lichtenberg are a small local club who are doing well. You know, they're doing a goodness right now. They're, if you like to say it like that, they're doing really well representing, and they're just a firmly mid-table club in the Regionalliga Nordost. You then have VSK Altkliniker, who are an old Berlin team who can trace their roots back to the 1890s. They have had a problem. The fans had a problem with the owners. They spent a lot of time in the very low leagues, sort of talking. We're talking about Bezirksliga, Kreisliga, the Berlin Liga. They've come up to Regionalliga. They narrowly missed out on promotion, the promotion chance, but when the season got curtailed, they got knocked to second on points per game. And they're an exciting team to watch, and it's good to see them do well. Again, a local club in the Altkliniker locality of Berlin. Then I have Berliner Athletic Club, who have been taken over by a Turkish businessman who is aiming to make them the third club in the city. He's got a 5-year plan, and he wants to be trying to get them into the Bundesliga within 5 years. You then have BFC Dynamo, Berliner Fußball Club Dynamo, who are the club of the Stasi. They are the East German record champions, 10-time East German champions in a row. They did 10 in a row, and they also won a lot of East German cups, and they were the club of the Stasi. The Stasi head, Erich Mielke, was the club president of BFC Dynamo. They've sort of moved away from that Stasi link. They're another great community club. They're the third biggest club in Berlin in terms of support, I'd say. And they play out the Friedrich Ludwig Sport Park, which is right next to the Berlin Wall. Bit of trivia for you there, but it's right next to the former Berlin Wall, and it was a club of the Stasi, but they're now moving away from that image, and it's a great sort of community club. You then have TB, Tennis Borussia Berlin, which are one of the oldest professional clubs in Berlin. They played in the Bundesliga in the 60s and 70s. They were a big name in German football back in the sort of 20s as well. Very sort of left-wing fans. They've got a lot of diverse fans. They were linked to the Jewish community in Berlin, so there's a beautifully unique club in TB. Victoria Berlin are the reincarnation of FC Victoria Berlin, who are one of the only Berlin teams, I think the only Berlin team to win the DFB Pokal back in the 30s. Also won 2 German championships in the 20s as well. So again, a reincarnation of what was a massive club back in the day. And then of course you have Hertha's reserves, who are of important youth development to Hertha. Now Hertha's reserves have started off the season well, as you saw. And they were in the mix for promotion last season, the promotion shot last season as well. I think they could do well this season. And a plethora of good young players have been created, mainly some Jerome Boateng boy. Never really heard of him. Apparently he's won the World Cup. He apparently won the Champions League in the World Cup. Never heard of him, but both Boateng brothers were brought through Hertha reserves. And I'll be talking about that later on in the video, how a lot of good young players have been created in the Regionalliga Nordost. But yeah, Berlin, most representing state, and I think we could be seeing a Berlin champion in the Regionalliga Nordost this season. Now it's time for the part of the video where I usually make myself seem very, very stupid. It's prediction time. So first of all, I'm going to talk over the teams I think will be in the mix for promotion to the 3 Liga. Now because it's automatic this year, I think it's going to be a hell of a lot more competitive. So my picks for the teams that will be right in the thick of it for promotion this year are Hertha reserves, Lokomotiv Leipzig, Karlsruhe Jena, Chemnitz, Energie Cottbus and Altglinica. Now, I'm saying lot because they did come top of the league last year and they've not lost too many players. So I think they'll be firmly in the mix. Hertha too have had a really confident start to the season and they have got a lot of great players like Mohamed Kipri and everything. So I think that great squad will maybe push them on to it. Karlsruhe Jena and Chemnitz both did badly in their opening game, so I'm sort of regretting saying this now, but they've both been relegated out the 3 Liga. A lot of players have stayed in that squad, which, to be fair, Chemnitz did dominate the Regionalliga the last time they were in it, so either of those will be in the hunt for promotion. I think Energie Cottbus and Altglinica are 2 teams that will maybe just be hovering for promotion, but those are my picks for the teams that I think will be hunting for promotion. Yeah, again, I could be horribly wrong because last season I said BFC Dynamo would be the team getting promoted. It turns out they didn't, because they came about 12th. So I can be wrong, but those are my picks for who will be in the hunt for promotion. Now it's time for the teams I think will be in the midst of it for the relegation battle. So it's a 5-team relegation to the Oberliga. So there's an Oberliga Nord and an Oberliga Süd. So like I was explaining earlier on, 2 teams got relegated due to financial issues last year. Erfurt ended up not playing any games because of their financial problems and got relegated. Well, they were more or less relegated with about 10 games in. Nordhausen also got relegated due to that. So that's why Moisovic's in there. So I may as well start by saying Moisovic have had financial difficulties of recent. And whilst the league have seemed to have left it for now, I think a points deduction is on its way. I think they won their opening game against Optic Rathenau, so maybe they won't, but if these financial issues keep up, they might be going down. Now, talking about Rathenau, they're there because they're a bit like the Brighton of the Regionalliga Nordost, where they're always hovering above the relegation zone, but they seem to always save themselves. Now, Babelsberg did spectacularly badly last season again, thanks to the season being curtailed, missed out on relegation. Tebe and Luckenwalde are both newly promoted clubs, so that's why I'm naturally putting them there, because as newly promoted clubs are going to struggle. Although Luckenwalde won their opening game, which was a bit of a shock to me, to be honest, because I was fully expecting them to lose it. So you never know. I don't know what's going to happen with Luckenwalde. Now, Germania Halberstadt and Auerbach are both 2 really small clubs that, again, the money issues might come to bite them on the backside. And also, Auerbach lost a lot of players in the window because they had a mid-table performance which they weren't expected to do. So I think Auerbach and Germania Halberstadt are going to be struggling around that relegation zone as well. Again, like I was saying with the promotion, could be completely wrong, but you never know. So those are my picks for who are going to be in the relegation battle. Now, I thought I was being funny when I made this graphic, but in hindsight, probably not. It's my teams to look out for this season in the Regionalliga Nordost. So these are 3 teams I've picked that I'm not quite sure how they're going to do, but they have good squads, so they could either do really well or do horribly wrong. But I'm saying to look out for them because they've got good players, or they've got a good manager, or they did well last season. So let's jump right into it. First of all, Victoria Berlin. They've beat Chemnitz, who are a massive side, first game of the season. And I think a season of glory's on for Victoria Berlin, maybe winning the Berlin Regional Cup, and pushing on, being in the hunt for promotion. I genuinely think that is a target for Victoria Berlin. They have a lot of good players that are local and are getting developed. They've got a lot of good players on loan from both Union and Hertha, that have sort of younger players that are getting developed. So I can genuinely see Victoria Berlin being in the hunt for promotion this season. Berliner Athletic Club, like I was saying in my section about the Berlin clubs, have a lot of money poured into them, and I genuinely think they could be in the hunt for promotion this season as well. There's been a few years where Berliner Athletic Club have been pushing for promotion and are either missed out on it or didn't do well in the playoff. Now that the automatics are on this season, because the way the Regionalligas are working, I can genuinely see back being a 3-Liga club next season. It just depends. Now, my last one, and perhaps the most exciting, just because of the style of football they played last season, was FSV Union Fürstenwalde. Now, Fürstenwalde last season played some really fantastic stuff, and if the season hadn't been curtailed due to COVID, I genuinely think Union Fürstenwalde could have made a big push for promotion. This season they've still got that squad from last season. Hopefully they play some exciting football. They've got a great manager who's a local guy who's really pushing for Union Fürstenwalde to do well. And it'd be great to see a club of their size in the 3-Liga. They came up from the Oberliga a few seasons ago, and they've looked like, a solid outfit in the Regionalliga ever since. People expect them to go down, and they never have. They've always been a safe team in the Regionalliga Nordost, so it will be really interesting to see how Union Fürstenwalde do in the upcoming season. Another thing about the Regionalliga Nordost is the two massive derbies that you get down in the Regionalliga Nordost. The Leipzig derby and the Brandenburg derby. So on the top half of the collage you can see the Leipzig derby, you can see a Chemie Leipzig tifo and the Lok tifos. The players are coming out. On the bottom half of your screen you can see Energie Cottbus fans and Babelsberg fans at the Brandenburg derby. So there's not really many big derbies in the other Regionalligas, maybe apart from the Regionalliga West, but in the Regionalliga Nordost you have these two massive heated derbies. The Leipzig derby is something else. I can tell you from personal experience, the Leipzig derby is something else. It is a fantastic game, and if you can make it to a Leipzig derby, I definitely recommend you go, even as a neutral, just to go and experience the sort of hatred and the passion of each side as well is just fantastic. Yeah, so Lokomotiv against Chemie going head to head. It's a classic old tie. It's been played since both clubs were formed in the late 60s in East Germany, almost consistently. Chemie spent a lot of the time in the East German second division, but it's been played a lot in the cup and everything. And even now, even though it's in the Regionalliga, you still get sellout crowds. A lot of people turn up without tickets to the Leipzig derby, and it really is something else, the Leipzig derby, and really a lot of passion there. You get brilliant, the fans are singing, bouncing up and down for 90 minutes. You wouldn't believe it was a fourth division game. At some points they're meaningless fourth division games, but they're treating it like the Champions League final, and I've got to say I've seen a lot more passion there than in certain derbies that you get in England. I see a lot more passion there than at Liverpool Manchester or Arsenal Tottenham. I see a lot more passion and singing there in the Leipzig derby. Now the Brandenburg derby is a sort of newer affair because Babelsberg didn't really exist in East Germany, and Energie Cottbus weren't that big. The original Brandenburg derby, you could say, was Energie Cottbus against Stahl Brandenburg, but this Regionalliga has created a new Brandenburg derby as a very political slant on it. So, and I might actually have to do a separate video about both derbies, but the Brandenburg derby has a political meaning. Babelsberg fans are very far left. Their stadium's named after Karl Liebknecht, who was a communist who fought against the Nazis and got killed by them, whilst Energie Cottbus are very right. They have a right-wing image. I don't like to say these things about clubs unless I've experienced them for myself. And any Energie Cottbus fans I've seen have been good-natured and haven't really perpetuated the image. But Energie Cottbus have right-wing hooligans at the club. Unfortunately, they have that image attached to them. And yeah, but so this one tends to be a lot more violent. The Leipzig derby tends to be a big slanging match, and sort of both clubs Yeah, there is problems. I mean, there has been times where if you watch a Cup of 90 documentary about it, the police had to drive the water cannon onto the pitch to douse people. But the Brandenburg Derby is a hell of a lot worse. Especially when you play at the Karl-Liebknecht Stadion. Energiekorpus's Stadion der Freundschaft's quite big. But the Babelsberg Stadium, the Karl-Liebknecht Stadion, is very small. So the pitch invasion and running into the opposition end to give them a doing tends to happen a lot more frequently. But both derbies are fantastic, and you just don't get derbies like these in any other. Well, there's big passionate derbies in Germany, but these local hate matches outside of the Berlin or Ruhr derby, you just don't see it anywhere else in Germany either. So that's another reason why the Regionalliga Nordost is great. Two massive derbies. Will we have fans for the derbies this year? I don't know, hopefully, because it's the fans that make these games. And that's another thing about the Regionalliga. It's not just the derbies, but the fans of all of the clubs are fantastic. And to talk about the fans, I need to make a whole other video. But I wanted to focus on those derbies. Let's move on to the next section. So guys, it's time for the last section of the video, unfortunately. Yep, I've bored you enough already with all this. But if you guys want to watch the Regionalliga Nordost, which I fully recommend, I hope this video has sort of brought you around to it, because it's a league I love. I first watched it when I went to Berlin with my dad, and we sort of looked up BFC Dynamo and thought, oh, they're a bit interesting, oh, they're playing. And ever since I watched them play Bischofswerda at my first Regionalliga game, I sort of fell in love with the league and everything. So yeah, it's a really great league. I always follow it. I've got the notifications on OneFootball, and you guys can watch it to it. And like I was saying, I'll fully recommend it. Either I've bored you to tears and put you off it, or you've learnt something and want to go ahead and watch it. So if you want to follow the Regionalliga Nordost, there's easy ways to do it from the UK. You can go on MDR. If you set your VPN to Germany, you can go on MDR and watch games live. Or you've got 3 YouTube outlets that offer highlights and sometimes even full games. If you want to see the Berlin clubs play, as there's a lot of Berlin clubs, I'd recommend Spreekick TV. They are a fantastic channel. I'm going to shout them out right now, because otherwise I wouldn't get the highlights for these certain games. So if you want to see highlights of the Berlin teams playing, go on Spreekick TV. If you want to see highlights of the teams of Saxony playing, like Bischofswerda, go on Saxon Kick TV. It's the same company, it's just the Saxony regional version. And another big one I recommend on YouTube is MDR's Sport im Osten programme, which means Sport in the East. It covers nearly all of the games. You can get highlights, you can get full games. Again, if you switch your VPN to Germany, you can get full games. So I definitely recommend it. Another way of seeing Regionalliga football that I definitely recommend is Come On Football. He has inspired me to do this video because of all his Regionalliga stuff. Definitely go and subscribe to him. Great guy, top guy Andy is, that runs it, and he basically goes to the grounds, watches the games, gives really good details about the teams, and it's genuine. None of this thugdom bullshit, shove your face in the camera and scream like a little girl when they score. It's just watching the football. And yeah, it's brilliant too. So definitely go and check out Come On Football, because he will be focusing on the Regionalliga, because fans will be allowed back in Berlin after, you know, they're getting allowed in this weekend as Germany lifts its COVID restrictions. And I'll hopefully try and vlog games when we're actually allowed to travel and things are a bit more back to normal. I'll definitely be coming out and vlogging a few games to that. So yeah, definitely guys, check out the Regionalliga Nordost, because German non-league football is so unique. The fans, the clubs, the atmospheres, the food, the everything, it's so unique, and it's better than non-league football. I know here in Scotland and England we view non-league football as a bit crap, but in Germany it's something else, especially the Regionalliga Nordost. It's a league I'm passionate about, so hopefully you guys will join me in my passion and check the Regionalliga Nordost out. And of course, when things are back to normal, definitely check out the game. Like I said, a Leipzig derby, once in a lifetime experience, and there's just so much football to see in the Regionalliga Nordost. You can even try and check every team off if you're sad like me. But there we go, guys. We've ended this section of the video. Now we're going to move on to my outro. So, you've just had over 20 minutes of me drivelling a load of crap. But yeah, Sorry about that, guys, if I bored you, but hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll be hoping to do more Regionalliga content and indeed German lower league football content on the channel if you guys give this video some love. If not, I won't do any more. I'll stop boring you with it. But I hope you guys have learnt a little bit about the Regionalliga Nordost and sort of got to know it as a league a little bit. I'm only scratching the surface. Like I was saying, for the fans and certain clubs, I'd need a whole other video or else I'd be here all day. I need to make a completely separate video. I will make more Regionalliga videos. I'm hoping to get some interviews out with Regionalliga videos as well. So hopefully we'll get it sorted out. Now I'd like to give a few thank yous out before we sort of finish up for today. First of all, massive thanks. I know I've mentioned them a few times in the video already, but Andy, Come On Football, absolutely amazing guy. He inspired me to do this video, and you should definitely check out his channel because he just doesn't do Regionalliga Nordost. He goes everywhere. I mean, he's been to an Icelandic third division game, and that's commitment even by my standards. I know, I sat on a piss-stained coach down to Morton once back when Hibs were in the Championship, and that's about as committed as I wanted to go. But yeah, Andy's been to Icelandic third division game, so definitely check his channel out because he's got loads of great Regionalliga content out himself. He even tried to climb a fence to go and see the games, even though you weren't really meant to, at BFC Dynamo on Saturday there. But yeah, so I'd like to thank him. I'd like to thank Lichtenberg 47's English fan page for helping me out this video, helping me explain about Lichtenberg as a club. I'd like to thank the Union Unterwegs for helping me out as well, Union Fürstenwalde sport group. I'd like to thank a lot of my pals that are Hertha fans for explaining a bit about the Hertha reserves. So that is that, guys. There's loads of people to thank. Again, MDR, Sport im Osten, Saxon Kick TV, Spraykick TV. I know nobody from them will watch this video, but a huge thank you to them because without them I couldn't watch the Regionalliga. A thank you to the clubs themselves for just providing us entertaining football, and thank you to the Nordost-Deutsche Fußballverband who administer the league very well. They do a bang up job of administering the league, and without them we wouldn't have this brilliant league. So I hope this video has brought you into the world of German non-league football a bit, and I'm just sharing my interest with you here, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like this video, show it some love, because it took me ages to edit all this together and get the graphics made up as well. So I really hope you can I really hope you show the love on this video. So yeah, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, please share it out, and if this gets good reception, like I said, I'll be doing more Regionalliga content. So please join me when I bring out another episode of my Magdeburg RTG. You guys have been showing the love on that as well. But again, thanks for watching, guys. Vielen Dank, Dankeschön, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, Jack out.